26 years of CNBC-TV18.
You're watching us here on Chartbusters. We're live to you from CNBC TV18 Motilal Oswal studio. But let's talk about L&T. That stock's among the top gainers today as Goldman Sachs has upgraded the stock to buy, raised the target price to 5,000 rupees.
Okay, moving on to the next stock that is there, Hindustan Zinc, that rallied. The rally continues for the stock. It's up 3% in today's trading session as silver continues to hit record highs. Zinc prices too have rallied to a 2-month high.
Vedanta too contributes to the rally in metal counters. The stock is up nearly 2% after it won the bid to mine nickel, chromium and platinum group elements at the Injana block.
Another capital goods player, Thermax, is buzzing after Kotak upgraded the stock to a buy from a previous ad rating earlier, expecting strong growth and margin expansion are the key drivers. The brokerage has set a target of 3,575 rupees on the stock.
Good morning. You're watching us here on Chartbusters. We come to you live from the CNBC TV18 Motilal Oswal studio. I'm Mangalam Malu. With me, Vinny Motiwala. As you can see at the bottom of your screen, the market's doing fairly well. The Nifty briefly crossed that 26,000 mark, but maybe some sort of supply around that 20-day moving average. From the lows, it's seen a rally of nearly 250 points. So that's good for the bulls. The question is where we go from here towards the end of the week. Hi,
Absolutely. Hi, Mangalam. Good morning. Yes, an interesting day, 26,000. I just want to keep an eye out on that, right? Because I think that's a mark everyone watches out for as well. So we'll watch out for what happens there. We're off the day's highest point as of now. Let's look at the advance decline ratio, though. Advance decline ratio today is in the favor of advances versus decline. So that is interesting in the day as well. And overall today, Nifty IT, that's not managing to hold on to great gains. It's down almost 0.2% as of now in the trading session. Broader end of the market, that's managing to hold on to decent gains. The Nifty Midcap is up 5.6% in today's trading session. Small cap also is managing to hold on to gains of almost 0.7%. That's what we'll be keeping an eye on. A lot of individual movers as well. And metals, Nifty Metal, that's the top sectoral gainer, so we continue to watch out for that one as well. But let's welcome on board Saumil Mehta of Mirae Asset Share Khan as well to give us a check on the markets on the technical front. Saumil, good morning. And today also we're not managing to hold on to 26,000. What are the levels that now we are keeping an eye on for the Nifty as well as the Nifty Bank?
Good morning, Vinny. Good morning to everyone. Absolutely positive on the markets. Medium term still remains positive. However, in the very short term, we've seen an ABC corrective in the last couple of weeks. We have taken support around the lower end of the Bollinger Band on the daily charts. We have also taken support around 40 daily moving average, 50 daily moving average, and we have bounced back. That's a very good sign from here. I think the most important level to watch out now is 25,800, 25,820, which is the 40 daily moving average. And my strategy would be to buy on declines. From here, my targets would be the all-time highs, that is 26,325. And above that, I'll be expecting 26,800, 900 levels in the medium-term outlook. Very specifically on the Bank Nifty, I'm expecting an outperformance here to continue. A small triangle pattern is being forming here, and I'll be expecting this to break on the upside. Crucial support, 58,800. That will be the first support, and the second support, which is 40 daily moving average, very crucial in the medium term outlook, which is 58,480. So these are the two levels I'm looking out for, but my targets on the upside would be 60,100 and above that 60,400.
All right. So that's about your indices. Stocks that you like, Saumil, this morning, what are they?
Two stocks, one from the bank side and the second one is from the auto side. RBL Bank is looking great to me. A flag pattern is being formed and it's already broken on the upside. Taken support at 40 daily moving average. Great setup for a short-term trade. In fact, even medium-term trade. Stop loss would be 301. Target would be 335. The second stocks which I've chosen is Ashok Leyland. Already in the uptrend. I think this will continue in the medium term, in the short term both. A small consolidation has broken on the upside. momentum indicators has given a fresh buy signal. So here the stop loss would be 157 and target would be 170.
Okay, thanks for that. We'll surely keep an eye out on those individual stock names as well. And Saumil, thanks so much for joining us this morning. But let's shift focus now to a special segment where we will get you a few ideas for profit from Money Control Pro. Jitendra Gupta of moneycontrol.com joins us now to talk about the stock that he's tracking closely. Jitendra?
Hi, thanks. Engineers India is heading into the second half of FY26 with record momentum. The company is sitting on highest order book supported by strong domestic refinery capex and growing traction in overseas consultancy projects. Management has even raised its full year growth outlook and it signals confidence in execution and the broader capex cycle. Year till date, if you look at Engineers India has booked close to 4,000 crore of orders and it expects to close FY26 at about 8,000 crore. Moreover, the pipeline remains strong with IOCL, Paradip expansion and Andhra refinery projects. Of course, several petrochemicals and specialty chemicals assignments are expected to move into execution over the next few quarters. Sector capex and private petrochem investments could open up opportunities. New areas like biorefineries, hydrogen, coal gasification could be another exciting opportunity. It has order book of close to 13,000 crore, which is 4.3 times its annual revenue, provides strong revenue visibility. Execution has been strong. If you look at revenue in the first half, grew almost 37% on a year-on-year basis. Management has raised its FY26 guidance to close to 25%. Overall, at current levels, the stock trades at around 18 times FY27 estimated earnings with close to 1,000 crore of cash and 2.5% dividend yield. Valuations looks reasonable.
All right. Meanwhile, just keep an eye out on a couple of these FMCG names as we're watching out for, names like Dabur, HUL. The ticker team's alerting us. We're at the lower end of that range. And also at the same time, we are seeing some traction in a couple of these mid-cap IT names. So we have Birlasoft, which has moved higher. Alongside that, Emphasis too has recovered from the lows. Take a short break, come back. On the other side, we have a lot of the market and stock-specific action.
"26 years of CNBC TV18. "26 years of CNBC TV18.
Well, the stock of the moment is eternal. For the last few trading sessions, it's been doing well. On Monday, it saw a bit of a decline on the day, Swiggy announced its QIP, and there were comments coming in from the quick commerce head of the company as well, saying that maybe we are near a bubble territory for quick commerce. But since then, after that decline, the stock's actually seen a good enough recovery. Yesterday was higher, the previous day was higher as well, and today as well at the high point. And let's see if Swiggy is also following suit or not. Swiggy this morning was up by around 2%. They saw strong subscription to their QIP and ended higher yesterday as well. Right now, as we speak, Swiggy too has spiked up 5% right now, 420 on that stock. But we now have the management of Escorts Kubota joining in, Bharat Madan, who's obviously the whole-time director and CFO. Thanks a lot, sir, for joining in. You made several announcements on the product front over the last few days, targeting the construction segment using Kubota technology. Could you tell us in detail about those launches?
Yeah, so I think the ISKCON in Bangalore, we have showcased 4 products. So the commercial launches happened for the mini excavator, which is 2.2 ton category. So this was one of the segment where we were absent. So we had higher and the lower HP category, tonnage category in the mini excavator. So there's a mid segment which we have introduced now. So this will help us in bridging the gap in the product portfolio. So as you may know, so in mini excavator, we are already the market leader in India with about 26% market share. And this is one segment which is growing in India gradually. And we're seeing the shift is happening gradually from backhoe loader to the mini excavator because of the advantages which the product category enjoys. So we feel, I think going forward, the market will continue to grow. And this is one area which we feel we can really, maintain our leadership position, because Kubota is a global leader in the mini excavator category. And they got a $3 billion revenue line, which is coming only from this particular product category. So this is one, I think, area where we want to focus on. The rest of the 3 products, as you mentioned, I think both on the On the backer loader side, which is again is a concept proto model which we introduced, which will be coming with a Kubota engine. So Kubota is again a global leader in the suppliers to the industrial OEMs, and the engine is one of the key features, which Kubota enjoys, and most of the industrial OEMs globally are using Kubota engine. So we intend to introduce Kubota engine in the backer loader, which we have introduced in the last exhibition in construction equipment space. So this one is coming with the Kubota engine. So earlier we were using our own engine, the Scott's engine, and now it will be coming with the Kubota engine. And this product is being launched under Kubota brand name. So Kubota will carry its own brand name on this product. The other two categories in the pick and carry crane segment. So as you mentioned, there's a 72 feet high boom, which is essentially for the application where you need a longer length for the boom, which will obviously get introduced. And then there's a Hydra 15, which will be essentially used in the pick and carry segment. So these four products, which are going to be compliant with the new emission norm regulation, are being showcased today, I think, in the Bangalore exhibition.
Right, sir. So mini excavators is where, y'all have a big market share as well, 26%. But y'all are also focusing on that construction segment. The increase in terms of focus, that's increased. But contribution, that's seen a sharp fall this year. It's down to almost 10% in the first half of FY26. Do you see this increasing going forward, or will it remain around these levels? What could we expect here?
Last year, construction segment was about 17-18%, and we believe, I think this year, obviously, the industry is a bit down in terms of volumes, but I think the pace will start picking up, we expect from next quarter. And I think it will continue to be in this range because both segments are growing. I think the AD segment has grown well this year, while construction was a bit subdued, but we think the ratio will be in the same range. It will be roughly 80-20 sort of, ratio, which will remain between the agri business and the construction equipment business.
Right. And what about the volumes in the construction segment? That too dipped by more than 20%, right? Are you seeing any improvement there? What would be your year-end target on that segment?
So next quarter normally is a good quarter. March quarter is typically a very good quarter for the construction equipment segment. And also because the reason with the public spending is high because the budgets are going to lapse in March. So the spending from the government side, we see normally a big push-up happens in the last few months. So we expect March quarter should be a good quarter, but we don't expect it will really be able to neutralize the degrowth which you've seen in the first 7-8 months. So that really will be a issue this year. But next year we expect the industry should revive back and go back to the level, I think, what we've seen in FY25.
So, sir, considering the improvement that you're expecting in volumes in Q4 and in FY27, what's the volume growth target that we could expect in FY27?
So which means the number, if we look at this FY26, if in the first 8 months we're in 20-21% sort of degrowth, on a full year basis, we expect that degrowth may come down to maybe 4 to 15% level. So FY27 means that this degrowth will again get neutralized. So we'll go back to FY25 levels, which will be roughly, I think, about 6,500 to 7,000 sort of equipment what we sold in that year.
What about the tractor segment, sir? The growth continues to be healthy. In November, total sales were up, 18%. Domestic was up 16%. April to November as well, we're looking at domestic sales up 11%. Can we expect the FY26 growth to be on the back of all of this more than 15%?
I think we have already indicated in our last call with the investors too that we expect now the industry to grow in double digit. And this indication was to have the lower double digit sort of, growth rate. Though I think looking at the last few months, the growth rate has been quite good. The buying October, which was already a very high base of last year. I think September and November both had seen 30% plus growth now in the industry. And I think there are like 2-3 reasons which obviously have been playing. One is obviously the good rural sentiment because of the good monsoon, and then your GST got happened, and then there's a good subsidy program which has been introduced now in a state like Maharashtra, which is doing very well, and that subsidy program will continue till end of March. So we expect, I think, these next 3-4 months also will show a very good growth rate. So we can expect the industry maybe in the range of mid double digit, 15% can also happen, 15 to 18% growth can also happen.
So, certain reports suggest that unseasonal rain and the depressed kharif crop prices are weighing heavily on the farm incomes and sentiment too. Now, anything you have heard from channel checks, what should we keep an eye out on now?
So not in our stronger state, other than Rajasthan, where we saw the impact was there because the extended rain. So maybe half of the Rajasthan was impacted. But in other states like Punjab or Uttarakhand or even in Tamil Nadu now, you're seeing the extended rain and this impact of this cyclone. So that's not really much because we're not very stronger player in these market. So Rajasthan was a bit of impact, I think, which we saw because of the extended rain. But having said that, in the Rabi season, we don't expect that impact should be there. So we expect the Rabi season should be very strong, and that's a season which is a good season for our market where we have stronger market share. So we expect in the northern and central Indian belt, where Rabi season is strong after this good monsoon and extended rain, the season actually should do very well.
Right. There were some reports of the management looking to delist Escorts Kubota. Is there any truth to that?
No, I think they're all rumors, so there's no such plan and no such discussion happening anywhere. So that much I can assure you.
All right, that's good clarification that's coming in, that, all the delisting news pieces are nothing but rumors. So good to have that clarity. Thank you so much, Mr. Madan, for joining in and giving us your, business performance, the outlook, and at the same time, quelling all the rumors around delisting too. We'll slip into a short break, come back on the other side, more on the markets and stock-specific action. Stay with us.
"26 years of CNBC TV18. "26 years of CNBC TV18.
Welcome back. Let's also get some updates on the trade negotiations between India and the United States. That's the big story. That's something that will be an important cue as we move towards the end of this year, with most of the major cues behind us right now. Parikshit joins in with the details of what's transpiring. Parikshit.
Well, a consequential phone call between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump when the two nations are engaged in a critical phase of negotiations to seal a bilateral trade agreement. Yes, they discussed the entire comprehensive strategic partnership. There was a discussion on global issues and on sustaining the momentum in efforts to enhance bilateral trade. Now, a trade deal specifically wasn't mentioned, but yes, our sources tell us that the talks happened in a very positive environment. The talks were substantive, and yes, it's a positive indication on the progress of the trade deal. Perhaps Sergio Gore, the incoming US ambassador to India, has given more flavor to the negotiations and the phone call that happened yesterday. He described it as a great call between two leaders and two friends. And he said that Prime Minister Modi reiterated India's support for President Trump's peace efforts in Ukraine. So clearly, the United States is tying India's efforts to supporting them in ending the Russia-Ukraine war with the trade deal in some way or the other. Now, back in India, the trade negotiations took place between Rick Switzer, who is the Deputy US Trade Representative, the Indian Commerce Ministry. He called on the Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, the Commerce Secretary Rajesh Agrawal, who's India's chief negotiator with the United States. They discussed the contours of the trade agreement. But what we are now told is that India has already given a very good offer to the United States. It is really up to Donald Trump to sign on the dotted line. While things have been progressing well, we've made the best proposal we could. It really now remains to be seen whether the US government, whether the US president will sign on the dotted line or not. There seems to be an attempt to address and bring in some more agriculture-related items in the trade deal at the last moment, which could add to the complication. But clearly, we don't have clarity on the trade deal as yet, whether it will happen by the end of this year or not. We also reached out to the White House to ask them about the progress in the trade deal and what the talks, the phone call between the two leaders mean at this stage. And they only confirmed that there was a phone call, and beyond that, they were not willing to comment anything. So very interesting times, and the next few weeks could perhaps unravel what can happen next.
Absolutely, Parikshit. Thank you so much for the latest update that's come in on the Trump as well as Modi development and the call that was made there. But with that, we're absolutely out of time on this edition of Chartbusters, leaving the market with an uptick of around 62 points for the Nifty. Bank Nifty holding on to some mild gains, and the broader end of the market continues to do better. But with that, it's a goodbye from Mangalam, myself, as well as the team who put the show together. Thank you so much for tuning in. Up next, you have Trading Hour.
26 years of CNBC TV18